Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm sorry if things look a little bit dark right now. My light batteries just died and I don't have the chargers with me right now, so unfortunately I am working off of just regular lamps. This video is going to be on how I achieve a glowy, radiant look without looking sweaty or too oily, and how to prevent greasiness if you still want to look very radiant. I also give you guys some body care tips as well, and just overall tips for powder application. And I also am reviewing the Anastasia Beverly Hills AMREZY highlighter in this video. This is a new collab that just launched, and a lot of people have used it, but I wanted to do a review for my subscribers just to see how it applies on my type of complexion. So if you would like to see my thoughts on this highlighter and also how to achieve this look, then please keep on watching. Not be concerned with the redness. I am currently drinking a beer and eating hot Cheetos. I just put on concealer so I looked a little bit less crazy right now because of how red my cheeks are. So to get into it, I feel like the best way to make yourself feel and look really glowy is to definitely do a body scrub. Now, I do this in the shower because it's just easier to rinse off that way, so I did already use this. This is a coconut Dead Sea salt scrub. What it does, it has actual real salt in it, and it also has a bunch of oils in it. It says it has coconut oil, but it has a bunch of different ones too. This is great for not only exfoliating your body, but also hydrating it because of the oils in it. It's just going to leave a nice healthy sheen to the skin, so that's going to help with making your body, whether it's your arms or your décolleté, look a little bit more like have a sheen to it without making you look sweaty, because it just gives a natural radiance to you, and it also helps your skin. So I definitely recommend this. And to continue with body care, definitely using a lotion is really nice. I like the Suave Smoothing Lotion, and this one has cocoa butter and shea, but there are other ones. I think there's a lavender vanilla scent that I also really like. I wouldn't say this is best for hydrating your body, and it's not really medical grade as like a Lubriderm or something like that would be, but it does leave a nice sheen. I'm actually going to use this right now, and I'm just going to put this on the chest, the neck, and also my shoulders a little bit. And already we have a nice natural glow to the skin. Also, I had a facial yesterday before filming this video, and you don't necessarily have to, but it definitely does help. If you are not in the market for a facial or you can't afford one, then I would definitely recommend doing a face mask before you do your makeup. I am a big fan of the Yes2 brand, which is sold in drugstores. They have a really good arrangement of different types of face masks for different skin needs, and this one in particular is the vitamin C glow boosting mask. So using something with vitamin C in it, or lemon extract or citric acid, is going to definitely help to boost your skin's radiance. So it is a glycolic acid, which is in a lot of the products that I use on my day-to-day basis. Just gives a nice radiance to the skin and removes texture, and it gives you a nice glow from within. Next, for the face, to definitely achieve that glowy look, I definitely recommend two products, and I've used these a couple of times, so I won't demo it for you. This is the Pixi Hydrating Milky Serum, and I put this on first, and it leaves a nice natural glow to the skin without looking too oily or greasy. Helps to moisturize you. And this one is the H2O Skin Drink, and this is a cooling formula and a gel texture that kind of turns into more of a lotiony moisturizer. So I recommend this on top of the serum to kind of give you that glow from within. I have it on my skin right now, and right now I look very radiant and just naturally dewy. So after all those basic steps are done, I definitely recommend going in with a hydrating primer. Now, you could use a face oil. I know that AMREZY loves to use face oils, but you don't have to do that, especially if you are worried that it's going to make you look a little bit too greasy. And so instead you could go for something that's a little bit more of a gel texture for a primer. I use the NYX Hydra Touch Primer. Waste your time, but it is really nice to add a nice, almost moisturizing texture to your base makeup. And I like to put this on the outer perimeter of the face because this is where I tend to look a little bit more dry. I kind of softly put it on the high points of my face and just push it into the skin. If you are someone that gets very oily or has enlarged pores or has a lot of fine lines in the center of the face, then this is where you can go in with a more blurring primer. I use the NYX Angel Veil. I also use the Professional, but I don't have that right now. But this is just a really good primer to leave a nice radiance to your skin without looking too matte. It has like this property where it just makes your skin look a little bit more radiant instead of looking very flat. So I just like to put this on the center of the face. The last step in your skin prep is definitely going to be a primer water or some type of hydrating setting spray. Just anything that's going to kind of make your face look a little bit more refreshed. I definitely love the Smashbox Photo Finish Primer Water. It just gives a nice refreshing boost to my skin that helps with makeup application. So I'm just going to spray the whole face with this. I think AMREZY likes to use the Tatcha Dewy Skin Mist, so do a lot of other YouTubers. That's a little bit too pricey for me, so I don't have that, but it has a little bit of oil in it to kind of make your skin look a little bit more dewy. So then next, of course, is the foundation portion. If you want to do something a little bit more dewy, such as like the L'Oreal True Match, the e.l.f. Flawless Finish Foundation is more of a natural finish, but they do give a natural radiance to the skin. The only foundation that I have with me right now is actually the NARS All Day Luminous Weightless Foundation. This is a little bit dark for me right now, just the hair, but I'm worried that the AMREZY highlighter is going to be a little bit too dark for me, so I want to make sure that it fits my complexion. So I am doing something that's not going to wash me out and look too pale on my skin, so I wanted to use this one. And this is just a nice radiant foundation where it's not going to look too sweaty or too glowy on the skin, cakey throughout the day, and it's also not going to go matte. It actually looks better throughout the day and works very well with your natural oil production. Now to apply this, I definitely recommend a sponge, especially if you wet it. Wetting any type of sponge is going to help pump more hydration into the skin when you pounce it on your face, because it does have that water built in and it is mixing with your foundation. If you want to add a little bit of a boost to your beauty sponge, then definitely apply some setting spray to it after you've already dampened it, but you definitely don't want it to be too wet because then your foundation is kind of going to cake up. So make sure you wring it out very well a couple of times and then spray on some setting spray and then go in and apply the product. So I'm just going to use the flat edge for this. This is a new EcoTools sponge, and I've never used sponges by them, but I've heard that they're pretty good. And so far I've been liking it. It does suck up a lot of the product, but it has been making my skin look very radiant. And I like these flat edges so that I could go up right into my nose creases. Also, just as a tip, I use my sponge a lot, but I don't really tell anybody how to use it, and that was just part of me assuming that most people know how to use a beauty sponge, but I'm gonna tell you right now that the way that you want to use your beauty sponge is by pouncing it into the skin and not swiping it. But for the most part, you want to pat it into the skin that way that you are evenly distributing the product, and also you are pushing the product into pores and fine lines instead of letting it sit on top of your skin. This way you're kind of making it mesh with your skin. So doing a close-up on the skin, we are full coverage, we are glowy, we are dewy. Now, if you want your under eyes to look a little bit more matte, then go ahead to use maybe like the Tarte Shape Tape or a pot concealer as well. NARS has a couple of those, but for a more radiant look, I definitely recommend using more liquid concealers or concealers that have more of a radiant finish. NARS Radiant Creamy Concealer is one, and definitely my favorite drugstore one is the Maybelline Age Rewind. I'm going to use two colors today to kind of do a full coverage look, but I like to use these because they cover a lot of space on your eyes and also have a really nice finish, so I'm going to use these to kind of highlight the face and also conceal. First I'm using Neutralizer, which is a little bit more yellow, and then the shade Light, which is obviously more of the highlighting shade. Putting that right on top, and then also in the forehead to highlight. I did get a second sponge that was a little bit smaller, so I'm going to use this for my concealer and powder application. And I'm going to do the same thing with this. I'm going to spray it with my setting spray. And I'm just going to blend everything out. So now we have pretty much our whole base done, and we have to kind of set the face. Now, a lot of people aren't into setting their entire face because it feels like it makes them look too matte and kind of like removes the purpose of the dewy foundations and primers. I'm one of those people. I definitely think that setting the center of the face is really going to give you the best result when you want a dewy complexion, because that is where all of your oil production is. So I would definitely focus more so on setting the center of the face. And if you are into baking, then bake the center of the face. So what I'm going to do, and also what AMREZY said to do to make sure that her highlighter looks as poppin' as it can be, I am going to actually take my sponge and take this small flat side, and I'm just going to bake, or at least set this triangle, not extending too far out, and the center of the face. I do plan on using a couple of more creams. So pro tip, if you are blending out foundation down your neck, please set it. I'm taking a normal tapered brush, just your average run-of-the-mill brush, and I'm going to kind of sweep the powder all across my neck, because I don't really care about how dewy my neck looks. Then I'm going to go in and cream contour, and I'm using the Art Clay Stick foundation. I've used this a couple of times, and I'm just going to lightly contour. A cream is a great way to kind of remain dewy without looking too muddy, because especially depending on the color of the cream contour that you use, you can maintain that radiance without looking like a mud pie. So just softly chiseling. So now we still look glowy, but we are all chiseled, which is something that I am a big fan of. If you want a little bit to look a little bit more natural, then you can definitely just leave it as is and not putting any powder contour on top of it, but I am going to do that today. So for that, I'm actually going to use a bronzer with a little bit of a sheen to it. Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer has a little bit of a sheen to it, not a glitter. It's not glittery at all, it's not shimmery, but it does have that little bit of radiance to it without looking too sweaty. I'm going to add a little bit of radiance to the cheeks as well, if that is something that you're into. I'm just kind of doing it because I don't really want to do a blush. And then finally, I'm going to take a little bit on the forehead. So now we're just going to wipe away the bake with the same brush that I used to set the neck. And be careful when you're brushing this to not go too far out, because once again we want to keep this highlighted area very dewy. So since all the powders are on, I'm going to just spray my face once again with the primer water. And what I like to do to kind of preserve the radiance that the spray is giving us, I kind of take my beauty sponge and I'll take the bottom of it and I'll just lightly go over the entire face and kind of push the spray into the skin and make sure that all the powders are melted down and that the face remains fresh without looking too oily or greasy. So I'm just going to quickly do my lower lashes and then we're going to get into the AMREZY highlight. So I finished my lower eye makeup and now it's time to use the AMREZY highlighter. This is the packaging everywhere, and also I posted a picture of it on my Instagram if you want to go check that out. It's kind of like a rose gold theme. It lasts for 12 months after being opened, and it says that it is an all-illuminating powder with an ultra-smooth formula and radiant finish. And it also has a little bit of a message from AMREZY, and it says, "I live for the perfect glow. It's a constant focus in my makeup routine. I'm always looking for the most luminous glow with a natural second skin finish. This collaboration with ABH, Anastasia Beverly Hills, brings my highlighter dreams to life, and I'm so happy to share this sun in a compact with my AMREZY riders." So if you're not familiar with who AMREZY is, that is her handle on Instagram, and she is kind of an influencer. She used to work at MAC in New York and then she moved out to LA. She's been doing makeup for years and she started posting her pictures on Instagram, I believe way back even in 2010, and she kind of used the app kind of to do filters on her face and didn't really expect it to take off the way that it did, but she gained millions and millions of followers, big with fashion, and she's also really connected to the makeup community. She's the type of person that will never do YouTube. She said this multiple times. That's not her thing. Usually she'll do Snapchat tutorials, and that's where I learned a lot of my techniques from, is from watching her, and I just think that she's such a powerful woman of color, and I'm really happy to be able to support her. And she also had another collab with Anastasia Beverly Hills called the AMREZY palette, and that was really, really old, and I didn't even really get to see it. I don't even know what it looks like, to be honest, but now that they have this, it's really nice for new people that have been introduced to AMREZY to kind of try out and see what makes her makeup look the way that it does. Opening it up, this is what the palette looks like. It has that ridged wave texture, and it also has these cross-hatching marks in it that makes it look like sand. It has that nice buttery consistency, so yeah, I'm really like living for this in this color. It's kind of very gold, but also a little bit rose gold. Like she said, it's sun in a compact. I feel like this is gonna work. I've seen it swatched on lighter skin tones and deeper skin tones, and it looks like it's perfect. So I'm just gonna give this a shot. And at first I'm going to just use this dry and then see how it performs, and then I'm gonna go ahead and see if I can amp it up by making it a little bit more wet. So I'm just taking my Morphe M510, and because no powder kind of comes off of it, I'm sure you guys have seen that like it's not powdery at all, but putting my brush through it, it feels very creamy. My heart is like racing. Like, this is so pretty. So in a roundabout way, I kind of showed you guys like the areas that you want to highlight if you want to get that glowy effect for your skin. These are the high points of your face. These are the spots that the sun naturally catches and releases a sheen off of your skin. Now I'm just going to take my pinky finger in the palette and put that on the inner corner. Anastasia Beverly Hills has some of the best highlighters on the market. They're the only ones that I'm really familiar with as far as highlighters go. So I knew that this was probably going to be an amazing formula, and this is definitely very unique from any other color that I've used from Anastasia. And picking up a highlighter, I'm looking for something that is going to be nice and golden because I have yellow undertone. So it feels nice to finally have something that kind of represents that olivey undertone, because Amra herself has an olive undertone. So this is definitely a product that I want to use like over and over and over again. And it's definitely going to be a win for me during the summer months when my skin is a little bit deeper. Yeah, I definitely give this a thumbs up. Great job, AMREZY. The next and final step as far as a glowy complexion goes, I would definitely say is a glowy lip, and for that you could always achieve that with a gloss. So I'm just going to quickly coat my lips with the Fenty Beauty Gloss Bomb in the shade Fenty Glow, just enhancing the natural shade of my lips. Kind of just makes you look a little bit more refreshed and like you're moisturized and hydrated. So all of my batteries died for my lights, and I'm losing daylight fast, so I'm just going to wrap up this video by saying that I definitely think that this AMREZY highlighter in collab with Anastasia Beverly Hills is worth it. It's only $28. It's an amazing highlighter. It's universal. I feel like everybody can use it. And the consistency is on point, and it's not too powdery. You're not going to run out of it too quickly. I feel like the pan size is perfect, and it also has a mirror on it, so I think that it's just a great overall highlighter to get, and it's going to be really compact for you to travel with. So I definitely recommend this product. As for the makeup look, I hope you guys enjoyed seeing how I can achieve a glowy look without looking sweaty or oily. I think that that's a really popular trend now, is kind of more of a radiant look as opposed to looking a little bit too glowy. I hope you guys enjoyed some of my tips and tricks. Also, if you want to know how I achieved this eye makeup look, because I do skip my eye makeup routine in this video, then stay tuned for the review of the Soft Glam palette with Anastasia Beverly Hills that also just released. I'm doing a full-blown tutorial and review of that palette, and that will be up very shortly, so tune in for that. And thank you so much for watching. Please like and subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!